I would occasionally steal my mom's warm fuzzy socks because I didn't have any warm fuzzy ones.
I have a question. At what point do warm fuzzy socks just become slippers?
I don't know.
Warm fuzzy socks just make my feet cold because they get all sweaty.
Yeah, I have that problem too, actually. Like if it's like not actually cold outside, and by cold I mean like below freezing. I know this might be an alien concept to you desert dwellers, but like there is like this point where it gets cold and you do need warm socks, but like 98% of the time you don't need fuzzy socks.
You know it gets like super cold in the desert, right?
Yeah, but
It does.
not all the time.
It does get cold. It gets cold at night. Like, you'd be surprised how cold it gets at night. Because the sun is what gives us all the heat, right?
Is it like,
And, like
minus 35?
No.
Okay, then it's not that
But
cold.
it does get below freezing.
Oh, before below freezing. Well, your little toes will get cold when it's below freezing.
And then that's when the fuzzy socks work.
Yeah. That's not wrong. Yeah, you do have a point. I do like. I genuinely think though, it's like if your foot doesn't fit in your shoe while you're wearing the sock, is it really a sock? Because I've seen some fuzzy socks that are just like so thick and floofy and fluffy and ridiculous and over the top that they stop being usable as socks.
I have a pair of those.
Yeah.
So are those socks or are those slippers?
I don't know. They're not really either. They're kind of just
Foot warmers?
yeah, they're both socks and also slippers at the same time. And they have like little animals on them, and they're super cute. You can walk around in them.
My problem with socks like that, though, is like, you walk around and then like anything that your socks pick up from the ground is now stuck in those socks, and you just can't get it out.
Yeah, little brooms, and then you just have like dust bunnies that you're carrying around. I have that problem with my own hair. Like my hair kind of gets everywhere because I got so much of it.
Oh, me
and
too.
I have really, really, really thick hair, and so like I have to sweep my apartment like I don't know 4 or 5 times a week just to get my hair off the ground sometimes. And like if I wear even remotely like wool socks or socks that have any kind of grab to them, I'll just be like walking around with like mats of my own hair if I don't sweep constantly.
I wonder which one of us has more hair. Well, assuming that my head wasn't half shaved.
Your head's half shaved?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't you get undercut?
Yeah. I'm going back tomorrow, and I'm going to shave off even more and also do something fun that I haven't told anybody what I'm doing yet.
Ooh, hi.
Okay. Will it be done before or after this podcast releases?
Before.
Well, then you could say it on this podcast.
I could, couldn't I?
You could, theoretically.
Theoretically. But then what if it doesn't work out, and then it's like a fake announcement?
Oh.
Then we'll just have to announce another announcement, like the fact that this is the 15th episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast.
15?
This is 15, yeah. We've done 15 of these. I
That's a
missed
lot.
the 14th. Apparently it happened. I hope it was good. But this is for April 24th, 2022. I'm Blind and I'm hosting, and I'm joined by Suwey. How are you today?
Just woke up, but I'm great.
Please give the full report on the current amount of Goldfish crackers that are sitting in front of you.
They're actually behind me.
Next to you, near you.
I'd say a quarter full.
Summon a Suwey. We need another box to keep you filled. Jess, how are you? Who's also here?
I also just woke up. So I'm a little out of it, but I'm here.
I've been awake since European cars went really fast this morning because today was qualifying for F1. So, I've been awake since before the sun came up. But we're here and we're talking about apparently socks. This is the Halcyon Frequency Podcast where we talk about video games and other various adjacent topics. But the adjacent topics section is often partially my favorite. So since I wasn't on last week's episode and Suwey was, how did things go without me?
They were all right,
Just all right? Did you guys behave yourselves?
Yeah, I think we were pretty good. I think we were all right. Arch and I had a fun kind of bickering a little bit, if I remember right.
You guys behaved, I would say. I mean, I edited the thing, so I do know what happened. It was just, I wasn't present, which is kind of weird.
It was a little weird not having you be the host. Like, FG did a great job.
Oh, yeah,
but it was a little bit weird because, I'm just used to you being the host at this point.
Am I a good host? I don't actually know.
I don't know because, like, you and FG are the only hosts I've ever experienced. I've never been on another podcast. So it's like, honestly, I have a really small sample size to go off of. So my data is extremely skewed.
I don't know if I'm a good host because I've guest hosted on one podcast twice. And I've had 4 individual podcasts now, and I've been the host of all of them because I've started all of them. So I also don't have a very large sample size.
Me neither. I don't really listen to podcasts, so I don't have any sample size. Although I will say I finally listened to like the first 2 episodes that I wasn't a part of. So I'm only 10 episodes behind at this point. So full disclosure, I didn't listen to last week's episode.
I mean,
at the rate I'm going, I'll hear it in like 3 months.
That's not
I'll let
too
you know
bad.
how it went.
To be fair, 15 episodes of a podcast that's approximately 2 hours long for most episodes is a hefty amount of backlog to work through.
That's true.
This is maybe the most meta opening of a podcast I think that we've done. It's like Halcyon Frequency reviews the Halcyon Frequency Podcast.
Yes, so it's pretty good, but there's the occasional time.
Time where?
The occasional time where they just go off on tangents and nobody likes that.
The 3 of us actually go off on tangents a lot. Like, maybe we just have nothing to talk about. And so we just,
We have a lot to talk about, so that's why we go on tangents. I thought that's why people go on tangents, is because there's a lot to discuss.
Or when there's nothing to discuss. I don't, just...
Like the density of Suwey's Goldfish box.
Dude, you guys start talking about tangents and my brain just goes, math. Remember when you took calculus?
No, actually, do tell.
I really don't remember it that well because it was a very long time ago.
I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweats going, I haven't finished my trigonometry homework. And then I go, wait, it's 2022. I haven't been in high school for like a decade.
Oh, that's the worst. I have dreams all the time that I need to graduate high school, but I forgot to go to class and...
for like a whole year.
High school. Yeah, or college. It's either college or high school,
I have them with choir. I'm not even in choir. I haven't been in choir since high school, but I keep having dreams that suddenly there's a choir concert. I haven't been to any of the classes. I have no idea what the songs are, and I just have to go up there and be like,
It's the best
solo.
You
have the solo?
Yeah. I have dreams where it's just like thing that I remember doing as a little kid, and it's I guess it's just like my brain working through something probably, but it's like things that I had to do as a little kid that I haven't thought about in ages, and then like I'll wake up and forget most of the dream because I don't generally remember my dreams too long after I'm awake, but I'll be stuck on that thing that I had to do when I was a kid for like the next 2 days, and I won't be able to really think about anything else even though I don't really remember the context of the dream itself. So if it's like I failed to pass a test or something, or I missed homework, or I lost something, and then it's just like the next 3 days I'm like, man, remember homework?
Yes. I'm glad I don't have that anymore.
I have it. I have too much. I'm so behind. Help me.
Oh, to be young again.
Dude, I am so done doing homework. I'm so burnt out. I'm ready to, like, make money for my efforts, because...
I have a solution.
Huh.
Finish school.
I mean, I'm 2 months out.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
2 months out, man.
That blows my mind, because I remember when we first met, and you were, like, freshman or something.
Yeah, I was a brand new college student when we met.
That's
I
crazy.
I have an audience member who was just starting med school around the time I started streaming, and that was around the time he started watching me. He's now a heart surgeon, and it's like,
Wow.
you've gone from like starting med school to heart surgeon in the time
Wow,
that
you
I've
play
gone.
video games.
Yeah, in the time that I've gone from 0 to like 15,000 followers on Twitch. I'm like, who's just doing better things with their life? I'm gonna go have an existential crisis now.
I
It's
would
like,
not be able to handle the pressure of something like heart surgery, though. Like,
I could do eye doctor, or like something else that's
just
like higher
too
paid
much.
but like less.
Oh, I worked in the medical field for a while, and I know that it kind of depends on like where you're at, but it was just miserable, and I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it. Nope.
My experience working by myself and working in various low paying bad fields, all I can say is I don't ever want to have a boss again. And if I ever end up in a situation where I have to work for somebody, I don't know how I would handle that.
Wait, you don't have a boss?
No. I just do what I want.
But
I mean, you have a dog, so that's your boss, right?
yeah, no, my cat.
Oh, the cat's in charge. The dog's the hired help, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I just now discovered that my dog likes carrots. Like literally since we started recording this.
So story time. Growing up, we had a standard poodle named Allie. She was a very tall dog, a very pretty dog, and poodles are amazing animals because they're foldable. They're like large dogs, but they can like compact themselves to like the size of like a small plushie toy. So she could go from being like a large dog to like curling up in the corner, and it's like, oh, you're like the size of a pug. Jeez, like they're all legs and they've got nothing else, so they just like curl up. But
That's
she
how
used
my
to
dog is.
she used to eat blackberries off blackberry bushes. She would walk up to the blackberry bush and pick like we'd be sitting there picking blackberries because there was blackberries all over the yard that I grew up in, and she would just like walk up to the bush and just like do this weird like sticking her nose on the thing and like bite a berry off and eat it. She'd bite another berry off and eat it. She'd just sit there and like eat the berries because we'd yell at her if she'd try and eat them out of the bucket.
Cilantro just brought me some carrots and was like, look, Kuma eats them. And yeah, he's just sitting here staring at me asking for my baby carrots. Had no idea.
I want to
Like
say
five years into owning this dog.
I want to say that carrots like are actually like pretty good for dogs. I remember reading that somewhere.
well, like, aren't dogs? Don't they have to get veg as well?
They're not as much of an omnivore as we are, but yes.
I eat like I'm not an omnivore though.
Yeah, they're scavengers.
I mean, I eat like a vegan, so.
I eat meat and bread.
I thought you were gonna say I eat meat and goldfish crackers.
I mean, goldfish crackers counts as a bread.
They don't count as a meat, that's for sure.
Goldfish crackers, the newest meat on the store shelves.
I
Fish crackers.
I discovered a
If it's
reason.
a meat, that's a question of meat.
It's concerning. I discovered a reason to convince Bellinaire to go to TwitchCon NA one of these years. I found a
Oh.
store in San Diego that sells two things, and it's named after the two things it sells: root beer and beef jerky. And that's all that they. It's
Beer
just
and beef jerky.
they sell root beer and jerky. That's it.
Okay.
And it's this store that is entirely made up of super fancy craft root beer and super fancy handmade beef jerky made by local like jerky makers around California and Texas.
sounds so
and all the way
Californian.
across the U.S. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it sounds like anything, like the sort of store that you would see in like a hipster place, where it's just like, yo, we sell one thing. It's like those stores that just sell hot sauce. It's like, how do you survive? Well, we have a very specific audience. We've hit it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have something like that here, where I'm at, in the middle of a farm town.
Nowhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rent's probably cheaper though.
Oh yeah, dude, housing is so cheap here.
Yeah, no, it's like if you're willing to live in the middle of absolute nowhere, you can. That's the only way to buy a house.
That's probably, yeah, preferable because housing is insane.
Yeah, no,
Heard.
never gonna own a house. It's not even an option. But I think we're gonna leave it on that note and take a real quick break here. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the games that we've been playing this week, or rather, Suey's gonna talk about homework because that's what she's been doing this week, and I'm gonna talk about games, and Jess is gonna talk about games. So when we come right back after this short break, we will continue on with the podcast. Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Arch from Arch Plays Stuff, and you're listening to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. I'm not on this one, but if you want to catch me live on Twitch, you can at twitch.tv/archplaystuff. Happy listening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, episode 15. I'm Blind, I'm hosting, and I'm joined by Suey and Jess. And we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing this week. Jess, talk to me about, I don't know, pick one from your list.
Well, which one do you want to hear about?
I don't know, which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Tavern Master. That one's my favorite.
Go nuts.
So,
So this go Goldfish crackers. I don't know.
I mean, that works too. I don't sell Goldfish crackers in my tavern, but I would if I could. I bet that would be a big hit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So I started playing Tavern Master this week because I didn't really have anything to play. And someone in my audience suggested I try it, and I put in a key request, and I got it, and I was kind of like, whatever, I'll give it a try. And I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. I have just really been enjoying it. So basically, it is a tavern simulation and management game. You run a tavern, and basically, you have like a campaign mode. It's not really a campaign, but I call it campaign mode. You start with a basic tavern, you have to earn income, you have to improve it, expand it, offer more variety to your clientele, hire more staff, and just kind of make ends meet and just get everything flowing. You accommodate as many customers as possible within a day, and then at the end of the day, you'll see a report of your earnings and losses, and how long it takes you to like deliver food and deliver drinks. And you make changes from there. It's definitely feels super early access. Like very, 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 very early access. And I was confused at first because I went on Steam and it's fully released. And so like in air quotes, fully released. It's not marked as early access. So my judgment of the game is kind of hinging on this because I was like, well, if this is a fun game, it's a good concept, there's a good skeleton here, but if this is a full release, this is pretty bad. But no, the devlogs say that they're working on it, and most of my complaints are being addressed in the update that's coming soon. Things like the UI is super clunky and just really hard to navigate, furniture's limited, the store is confusing, and it just needs expansion. Like the mechanics feel limited. But I'm glad that it's being addressed soon. I'm like super excited. This was a good time to try it out because I get to reflect on it when the update comes out. Overall, I feel like it's a really approachable game. Like for someone who doesn't want like a super crazy tavern management. If you don't want super crazy tavern management, but no, just management in general.
So I'm a little bit confused because you're just like, this is the one that I really enjoyed. And then you make a big list of things that are really bad about it. What makes it good?
Yeah, so while I was playing it, I was just like, there are so many things about this that aren't good, but gosh, I can't stop playing. I played it for 3 days in a row.
Yes, that's Mutant Fruit Factory 5.
I played it 3 days in a row, and my chat had to like beg me to take breaks and like go take care of myself. I was just like, I gotta work on my tavern. And so the first day that I tried it was just kind of like the day where you dive in and you're just like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. This works. This is not great. And then after my stream, I was reflecting and I went and checked Steam and saw that the announcements that the devs have for it just plan to address these things, and so like now I'm really hyped. Like it was pain that I can live with because I know that I can experience the changes and enjoy them, hopefully.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like a kind of a weird product. I don't know. It's a game that I've been aware of for a while, and just I don't know. I think I've moved to a point in my life where if I see a concept that I've played before that isn't doing anything particularly different than game I've played in past, I'm just gonna skip it. And I've
I
played
feel that.
tavern management games, and I've played game development management games, and I've played an arcade simulator. I've played hospital management games, and I just looking at it, like there's nothing here that really makes it look unique to me. So it's missing
straight up
some
just
pizzazz.
reminded me of like playing The Sims and just designing a house.
Yeah, I could see that. There's definitely an appeal there.
Yeah, I guess for me it was kind of that the part where you actually built the tavern was really immersive.
See, my least favorite thing of playing The Sims was building the house. I loved
That's my
just,
favorite
like,
part.
Nah, I hated it, dude. I liked just having my Sims do different things and seeing how the game mechanics work and everything.
Suwey likes to drown the baby in the pool.
No, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I just liked seeing how hard it was to like have this kid get a perfect grade or see how hard it was to make X amount of money. That sort of
Spoilers.
thing.
Significantly easier than real life.
Yeah. When I played The Sims, I just do some hacks to get unlimited money and then just make a mega base. Wait, that's RimWorld. I make a mega mansion.
Mega Man, that's a good video game series. But yeah, I mean that sounds interesting. I'm a little bit. I guess the thing is, I'm just a little bit perplexed by the fact that you're just like, by your description, it sounds like you hated it, yet you were excited to talk about it, and are looking forward to updates. So I'm a little confused, but also intrigued, I guess.
I hate how much I like it.
It reminds me of my description of like Game Dev Tycoon when that came out, when I was just like, everything about this game is extremely boring, but I'm going to play it for another 17 hours. Because it's like, on paper, everything about Game Dev Tycoon is the most uninteresting, boring game ever.
Was
but
that the one, like the mobile game?
No, you're thinking of Game
No.
Dev Story. Game Dev Tycoon predates all of those. Game Dev Tycoon is like one of those really, like not really early, but like kind of was like the beginning of all of those games. Like all of the Game Dev Story and all those mobile games like came because of Game Dev Tycoon.
Wasn't it like 2011 that it
Looking
came
it
out or
up right
something?
now. 2013 was the Steam release, but it was on their own website before that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching content creators I watched back then play it.
Oh, no,
Yep.
I played this one. Yeah, this one I played on my phone, though.
Yeah, they ported it to phones later, I think.
I never owned it, but I played it on one of my friends' laptops when we
I
had like a free
loved
day
this
at
game.
school.
Yeah, I loved it too. I'm looking at it right now. I have 45 hours in the thing, but I think I did that in like 3 days, and I don't think I've played it since. And like, there's a lot of things that I could sit down and look at Game Dev Tycoon and be like, this is bad, 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 this is bad. But like, I just kept playing it, kind of for the same reason that I keep playing Cookie Clicker. Notice how I changed kept to keep. So, you know. Suey, how's the homework been?
A lot. So this week I wasn't able to do all my weekend homework because I had gotten sick over the weekend. So I had asked for an extension, and then I had 2 days to write a 7 to 9 page essay. And then I have my normal workload on top of that. And I'm just now starting to see the light of day. I feel
They missed an opportunity. The minimum number of pages should have been 6. Then it would have been a very nice essay.
Yeah. No, it was 7 to 9.
I thought you said 79.
I mean,
Oh,
that would have been a
God.
terrifying essay.
To be honest, though, I only made 6 pages because it doesn't include the title page or the references.
Oh, so it is a
Works
nice
cited.
essay.
Huh?
So it is a nice essay.
Yeah, technically. But I only actually got to 6 pages, and I was like 20 words off the word count, and I was just like, dude, I don't want to elaborate more. I'm so done. I'm just turning it in.
To lift the veil a little bit here, we have this document that we follow while we're recording these, and Suwey's games that she listed were school, homework, and a tiny bit of FFXIV. So, MMO talk. You have 60 seconds to talk about the MMO.
Yeah, I've just been farming money in the game to try and get to be able to help my group, like my guild. It's called a free company in the game. Get a like large house in the game, because why not?
Hell yeah. This morning I was playing a little game called Tile Cities. So this is a game that's not officially out yet, but it's going to be coming out on Steam sometime in the next few weeks. It's currently in beta. You can buy the game for $3 through their website, tilecitiesgame.com. And it is the side project of the developers of a game called Ostriv, which I'm probably butchering the name of, honestly. But it's the developer is based out of Kharkiv, Ukraine. So essentially their home is flat right now, or being flattened by an invasion. So they're not able to work on their main game, which is Ostriv. So instead of working on that, they've been, volunteering and doing what they can to help with the war effort, but also they have their laptops and they're making this side project. So Tile Cities, which I put up a video on this morning, is a minimalistic city builder, kind of in the vein of something like a Dorf Romantic or like a Mini Metro. It's very simple. It has no music. It's just some very basic sound effects, but it's these beautiful board game-like tiles, and they have roads, and they can have up to 3 colors on them. And there's 4 colors total. And if a tile has a color on it, it doesn't demand that thing because it already has it. But a blank tile has a demand, and then the demand shows up on a loading bar down in the bottom left. And so each time you place a tile, it increases the demands that you need. But if you match 2 tiles to get a tile next to another tile that has that resource, so say you put down a tile with a blue building on it, and then you put down a blank tile next to it, that blank tile won't require blue anymore. So you have to balance the resources while expanding your map, and there's roads in the middle that connect the different buildings together, and you have to try and keep your demands as low as possible for as long as possible until it eventually overflows, and then the game's over and you get a score. Very simple puzzle city builder. There's also trains, which can double the points as well, but very simple minimalistic city builder that builds a beautiful looking road map by the end of it. There's also a creative mode, and when you lose, you can just jump straight into creative mode with your city. So if you like the city that you're working on, you can just jump into creative mode. There's also saving and loading and everything, so you can save your cities. I wish I had a screenshot feature. That's like kind of my only real actual wish for it. Yeah, it's a cute little town builder that's coming soon, and hopefully does well and keeps them afloat while they're unable to work on their main project.
What did you compare it to? I heard you say mini metros, but did you say also?
Dorf Romantic.
I was gonna say Dorf Romantic.
Yeah,
Yeah, based on your description.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean,
thinking that too.
I was in and out there trying to find a link for it.
it's not as here. I'll link the Twitter account for this game in the description of this podcast, but I'm also just gonna put it in the chat so you two can see it right now.
Is it totally inappropriate to be like, by the way, guess what's coming out this week? Dorf Romantic.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not totally inappropriate. I already have a video scheduled on my YouTube channel. But
I'm excited.
looking forward to talking about that game again, yeah. No,
Me
but
too.
I think that minimalistic city builders is kind of like not an underappreciated genre, but like kind of an up-and-coming genre, I guess. Like
I love it.
I'll just keep playing those as long as people make them. I mean, this one, to be like, keep your expectations leveled. It is unfinished. Like it's a
Right.
beta, and it's gonna take them like a little bit more to kind of polish around the edges, and it's obviously not as fancy as a Dorf Romantic because it's been in development for like 2 months. Like, it's not a very long time development thing, and they've been working on it in their spare time when they're not getting bombed. So it is what it is, but I don't know. I played it for 2 hours this morning. It has that same kind of brain feel as like those as Dorfromantic, where you're like, oh,
Matching tiles and everything.
yeah, you're just sitting there and you're matching away tiles. Then you look at the clock and like, I've been playing for an hour, really? I should record a video. Jeez. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little concept for a game, and all it needs is some music, and I'll play it for hours.
Cool. I'll probably buy this one.
It's $3. Also, if you buy the beta through their website, which is DRM free, you'll get a Steam key when the Steam version releases.
Oh.
So there's that. Jess, talk to me about terraformers.
I was actually going to say, speaking of $3 games, I forgot to put one on my list. That one, Vampire Survivors.
Yes, my favorite game ever of last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just skip that one. Although
I mean, you
have
can talk about it
I've
if you
played like
want.
20 hours this week.
Played? You mean you sat stationary and looked at pretty explosions on your screen for 20 hours this week? Move a little to the left, move a little to the right.
I mean, a bit more than that, but yeah, there's been a lot of updates. I've had to 100% it. I haven't finished yet, but
I deleted that game from my Steam library.
I never had it.
as of right now, I have 43 hours.
Wow.
Oh, it's I like it. But anyways, Terraformers?
Yeah.
Okay, full disclosure, I was sponsored to play this one. I probably would have skipped over it if I hadn't been, because I just generally am iffy about sci-fi-esque games for some weird reason that I can't quite figure out. But it's still a colony sim, city builder, resource management game, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down to try it. And I'm glad I did. It just came out into early access yesterday. What day is it? Yeah, yesterday, the 21st. So day of recording, the 22nd here. I was expecting something like Surviving Mars, but instead it's like a board game. It plays like a board game. And I haven't really played a lot of the Mars builders because of for some weird reason, my aversion to Mars games, sci-fi games, but it kind of reminds me of Paraspora a little bit, like the planet view, but I don't think they're really anything similar. I don't actually remember Paraspora that much, but
Nobody does. It's fine. Except Kiri, I think.
I can't remember anything about it except how much the narration bugged me.
That's a good thing to remember, I guess.
So I was kind of expecting like I don't know, like a game with moving parts really, but this one is just like all the animations were non-existent. They didn't really have any. It was just it's got like your planet view, and then you have your city view, and then you can move between them in like a webbed planet. And so that's the only piece that moves in the game. I'm pretty sure. But it's turn-based, so you have a set of actions. You research when you start a turn, which is really just draw cards into your hand that you hold. You can hold up to a certain amount of cards, which are all quote-unquote research projects. They cost resources to play in your cities. You can use an ability that your leader has, and every like 20 years or something, you have to change leaders. And so they all come with an explore ability, but then they have special abilities that they can perform based on their specialty. Like one guy is like the global warming expert, and he can raise the temperature of your planet because he's so good at fossil fuels and stuff like that.
We're already very good at that. I can confirm.
Yeah, I think his backstory is he's like
A problem that we booted off the planet?
He's some like mogul on Earth that's just causing lots of issues, but on Mars, that specific set of skills is very helpful when trying to terraform.
That's ironic.
Yeah. So you can also use like any other abilities you've unlocked as you play. Like you get more exploration actions and things like that. And you can perform unlimited build actions, assuming you've got the resources to build in your cities and also expand. And then every turn you gain or lose support based on how your Mars population views you. So if your support hits 0, like if your bank hits 0, you lose. So I wasn't expecting this, so I really liked it because of this, because it felt board gamey to me, and it's so nice because you can just walk away from it and like nothing happens. It's great. So there's multiple scenarios that you can play. Like you can choose to accumulate points, you can try to unlock a certain number of mines, you can focus on terraforming, and overall I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. It's got some issues, like it's kind of cluttered and it feels really unbalanced right now, but I feel like that's probably going to be tweaked as we go.
Looking at it, it looks kind of like a weird combination of like almost a narrative adventure game and a bit of a 4X, but I haven't played it, so I can't really say.
That's kind of what I was expecting based on the description. It didn't play anything like what I read in the description. I was expecting something completely different.
Is there a lot of writing in this game?
What do you mean, like text?
Written
Yes.
text to read?
Yeah.
How's the writing?
It's been okay. There have been some spots where typos or things were, like, I guess, written oddly, but for the most part, it's been all right.
All right, because like writing can sell me on a game like this, but if it's just all right and not like a standout portion, then probably a pass from me. But looks
I don't
interesting.
know if I'm the person to judge that, though. Like, if writing is good or not.
Is the writing compelling and entertaining? If yes, then the writing is good. If no, then
I don't know, because at some point, I guess maybe not, because the events are really limited right now, and like their roadmap shows that they intend to add more events. But I kind of learned what all the pop-ups were and just hit like, okay, next, just so I could like play my turn, because I knew what I was getting from
gotcha.
from
Yep.
the events.
That's unfortunate, but I mean the game is in early access, so I hope that it's hope that they continue to work on it and it becomes something cool by the end of it. I'm gonna talk about how much I love Shotgun King now. So do either of you like chess? Okay. What if you removed everything about chess that makes chess frustrating and boring? Okay. Removed all the pieces from your side of the board, but you just play as the king, the black king. And some chess pieces spawn on the other side of the board, and you have a shotgun. That's the game. It's Shotgun King. So you're the
Well,
king.
I mean, you had me at you have a shotgun.
And you have a shotgun. So it's a turn-based kind of roguelike-y thing, where you start off and there's a couple pawns on the board, an enemy king, and like a knight and a rook maybe. And you have to kill the king. That is your goal. You have to kill the enemy king. And when you kill the enemy king, lightning bolts come down and strike all the other pieces and they all explode. This game won Ludum Dare 50, which is a 48-hour long game jam, and is $6 currently on itch.io. I don't know if they're planning to release it anywhere else, but I liked it enough that I actually am now giving the developer Punk Cake, P-U-N-K Cake, $6 a month on a Canadian on Patreon, because once a month they put out a game and you just get it for free if you, or included with your patron support. If you're supporting them on Patreon, you get a couple dollars off basically. So it's possibly the most satisfying little roguelike-y thing that I've played in a while. Every
cool.
turn, every time you kill the enemy side, you clear the enemy half of the board, you get to pick a power-up for you and a power-up for the other side, right? So this could be like, oh, you can shoot 2 shotgun shells before you have to reload, and you reload by moving. It could be also whenever you kill a non-pawn enemy piece, you get to move as that piece for 1 turn. So you kill a knight, your next move, if you wanted it to be when you choose to activate that power-up, you can move in a knight pattern. Or if it's a rook, you can move all the way across the map in a straight line. Or if you kill a queen, you can move in the shape of a queen, etc. Power-ups can include certain... or rather, the perks that you can get in between each levels can be things like wider spread on your shotguns, so you hit more enemy pieces, but maybe it gives the enemy 3 extra pawns, and pawns have an extra HP. Or it's an extra ammo before you have to find or pick up an ammo spawn, because ammo will start spawning on the board when you run out. When you'll have more ammo before you need to respawn, but it gives them an extra rook. Or maybe you'll pick up a card that hurts the enemy king, so instead of the enemy king having 10 HP, only has 4 HP, but they get an extra queen. Stuff like that. And then once you hit floor 10, every single floor after that, because once you hit floor 10, your perks are maxed out. 10 perks is the maximum amount of perks you can have. Same with the enemy side. Every single floor after that, it just spawns a random chess piece for their side. So the board just slowly fills up with white chess pieces, and you just have to snipe the king and hope for the best, basically. But by that point, you'll be comboing multiple moves together. So in one turn, you can move all the way across the board like a queen, jump like a knight, shoot across the board like a rook, and then snipe the king from behind. And it is extremely satisfying. The runs are not super long. Like getting to floor 15 takes maybe 20 minutes. But it is a very, 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 very satisfying little fun loop, and I am extremely enthused by it and really like it.
It looks cool.
Sounds fun.
So
Steam says, is this game relevant to you? Similar to one game you've played. Vampire Survivors. 43 hours on record.
well, you do know that Vampire Survivors is like, if you look at the what's it called? Tags, it's tagged as like everything. So of course it's gonna just show up everywhere because it's a non-game. Anyway, but yes, no. For me, I have Vampire Survivors and Nova Drift, which is like sure, but I don't think that relevant to you thing is particularly accurate.
No, I don't think so.
Not.
I just brought it up because
it is kind of funny. But yeah, no. So Shotgun King. Another thing I should mention, it does have screen shake, but you can turn it off. And it has like this like CRT screen effect, but you can also turn that off. So if you have problems with that stuff, you can just disable it all. But yeah, it's super fun, especially when things start getting super crazy by the end of it, when there's like giant pieces on the board and other dumb shenanigans. It's good fun. So Jess, talk to me about Solesta.
Sorry, I was eating a carrot.
How dare you?
Okay, so last
Crown of the Magister.
I was also sponsored to play this one. Yeah, I was sponsored to play the Lost Valley DLC. And Solasta is one that I wanted to play when it first came out, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I feel like the fun with this sort of game is the multiplayer aspect, which is what the Lost Valley DLC brings. I think it was a free update that brings multiplayer, along with the Lost Valley DLC, which brings new campaigns and a few other classes and whatnot. But basically, Solasta is a CRPG based on the rule set of D&D 5e. So I played a multiplayer game, The Lost Valley, which is a new campaign for levels 1 through 12, and did not make it very far at all because I experienced so many issues with desync, and I was really disappointed, but it still was a lot of fun. Like, I am thinking, actually, like in the back of my mind, that I might actually go back and play this on my own time and see if I can, like, maybe play with Solentre or something. The shorter campaign style really appeals to me because I'm so overwhelmed with the idea, like, there's just the sheer magnitude of Divinity or other, CRPGs, because they're just so long. And I just really like the idea of a short campaign.
Yeah, I'm also turned off of very long CRPGs. It's kind of, I have the same problem with XCOM to a degree. Like I immediately think about XCOM when I see this one because it's just like I don't know if I want to play a game for 80 hours. And then he says that as he has like almost 1,000 hours in a single Dwarf Fortress save file. But like there are certain types of games where I really want to just sit down and just eat this all for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 6 weeks. And there's certain types of games where it's like, can I just like have a snack? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. Whenever a good farming sim comes out, I'm like, all right, I'm fed for the next week or so.
Suwey, why don't you just farm?
I
mean, you could actually
hate
be
farming. Like, no. I grew up with my dad having like this massive garden, and I did not enjoy it at all.
I'm the opposite.
I loved farming games.
I'm the opposite. I can't stand farming games, but I love farming in real life. Like getting my hands in dirt, it's the best. I'm gonna go
I hate
work
it.
on an actual garden tomorrow, and I'm so excited.
My allergies always act up from random stuff.
Take a pill before you go outside. It's fine.
No, I actually have to take a pill every day to survive.
That's part of life.
Yes,
yeah.
we do need to go get me more antihistamines. I'm completely out.
I had to go buy some antihistamines this morning because my allergies flared up this year for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that's cute. You only have to take them when you flare up.
Yeah, because
My
I'm a
eyes
normal
will
person.
shut if I stop.
Yeah, well, I also die if I don't give myself 5 injections a day if it's a contest. So you know. But yeah, so Celesta, have you had the chance to dig into any other parts of the game, or just the multiplayer portion for the sponsored segment?
Just the sponsored segment, but like I said, I actually really want to go back and try again because I actually do enjoy D&D, but only in small doses because I have a lot of trouble focusing on long campaigns. So I don't know. That's why I'm just really attracted to a shorter campaign. I also just kind of want to design some characters, like 1 or 3.
Yeah.
The character creation seems really robust. I mean, it's based off of D&D 5e, so it better be.
You know, fun fact, I purchased and installed Black Desert Online for like $1 once because it was super duper cheap, just so I could design a character. I just wanted to mess around with that character creator, and I have like 5 hours in BDO, and it's just because I was messing around with this 3D character model.
Did Twitch actually make the character creation category? Did that actually happen?
I thought that was an April Fool's Day joke.
I thought so too, but then I heard that they actually did it, but I'm gonna check.
Just go to just chatting. Who cares? Like, realist or the games category. I mean, that'll fit.
I don't think so.
Aw.
I typed in character creation and I got the little ghost bot thingy. This page doesn't exist.
I was really excited for the fake silent reading category.
Wait, that was a prank?
Yeah, that was a prank.
But I liked the chores one.
I liked basically all the things that they announced, and I don't know why it was a joke.
See, here's the thing. You can do all of those things right now and just chatting and nobody will blink.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but...
And
What if you
segmenting
want
them
to find
out just
somebody
means...
in the character creator?
Just I don't know. Tags, maybe. Maybe we need a character customization tag.
Maybe.
I should have written down more. I'm realizing that I should have written down more games because I played more games this week. I just thought that I'd keep my list short so I didn't pull an FG and talk for an hour and a half. But I think it's time for us to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about news. How's that sound?
Hey.
That sounds good.
Back in a sec.
Slender's trying to steal my food.
Hey, my name is Arch from Arch Plays Stuff, and you're listening to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. I'm not on this one, but if you want to catch me live on Twitch, you can, at twitch.tv/archplaystuff. Happy listening.
Hello, we are back. Welcome back to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, episode 15, featuring me, Blind, Suwey, and Jess. Anybody remember Terra Online?
I first heard about it today.
Really?
Yeah.
Suwey, did you ever play Terra Online?
Wait, Suboy, was Terra the game you were talking about? Apparently, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, Suwey's played it.
I mean, it is terrible. No, honestly. So I played Terra Online at launch 10 years ago, apparently. Jeez. And the thing that I remember about Terra Online is that you could be really creepy little girl characters that are also 1,000-year-old ancient gods, but you can also play as like a giant hamster with a broadsword, which had the best attacking animation I've ever seen in a video game. It's like, imagine like this super fat Hamtaro hamster looking thing just like runs up to a giant gargoyle and just like slams it with a huge broadsword and then like swings it around over his head and it gets stuck in the ground behind him and he falls on his butt and stands back up and then just like slams his sword back into this thing. It's the greatest attacking animation ever, and I enjoyed the like 2 months of it that I played, but it's shutting down. So the developer of this Blue Hole has decided that they are going to end development of Terra Online. The game has had several publishers over the years. It was originally a paid subscription game, eventually has since moved to being completely free to play. And you know, it's had its following. It's kind of like Aeon Online. It came from the era of World of Warcraft killers that like none of them really even competed. It always kind of suffered from like kind of the Korean MMO problem of like it's very grindy and hard to get anything done, but also like it always had its audience, and it's kind of sad to see games like this shutting down. So the game itself still has a little bit of time left. So if you want to dive in and play your old character or like mess around with stuff, you do have until the 30th of June to get in there and play. All purchases will be deactivated on the 31st of May, and on the 30th of June, all of Terra's servers will be deactivated. I have like this weird fascination of like watching live streams or logging into old MMOs on the day that they shut down, just because like a lot of people log in usually, and it's weird, but also kind of neat. So I don't know.
Yeah, what happens exactly? It's like all the lights just go off?
I've heard like stories about like when the Final Fantasy MMO shut down the first time, like they like blew the planet up or something, and like there was actually like an in-world animation, but I usually just it's like disconnected, right? So I would expect this to be more of a disconnect kind of thing, not a big in-game event. But yeah, I mean I was playing Star Wars Galaxies when they shut the servers off for that, and that was just we're all just kind of standing in a public spawn zone, and then people just started disappearing. And then I disconnected, and it was just kind of sad. Then we all went on to Vent and played, like, League of Legends. No, not League of Legends. It would have been Heroes of New Earth, probably. I don't know. But, yeah, MMOs shutting down is always sad because, like, it's 10 years of a video game that a lot of people have put a lot of money and time into that is no longer playable. So it's kind of a sad story. But, Suwey, do you want to take this kind of funny and less sad story?
Yeah, so on 420... RimWorld got to go to the Australian Review Board because previously it had been banned, I believe, because it wasn't able to be classified. And they decided to classify it, so it's not banned anymore. It is now R18 plus for high impact themes and drug use.
Like basically mature.
Themes. Yeah, mature is R18.
Yeah.
AO is 19 plus, which means it's adult film basically, but
So, only adults can buy it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
That's kind of fair.
That's the way it should be. Like should you let a 14-year-old buy RimWorld? I mean,
wait, hold on. Give me a second.
How old were you
here.
when you bought RimWorld, Suwey?
I don't know. So when I was that age, I was playing like Grand Theft Auto with like rocket launchers on the roof.
Sure, but did you buy it?
No, but my mom bought it for me.
Okay, well that's different. If your mom bought your RimWorld, then you're good because your mom bought it.
Hold on, I'm seeing if I can find when I bought it. I have to look through my old purchase history to find it though.
Gosh. But yeah, I think that this is good. When this happened, there was some bubbling up in the Dwarf Fortress community about this, and everybody just kind of rolled their eyes and locked the threads and just kind of moved on. But it's good that it got unbanned. It's ludicrous that like, yes, RimWorld has some extremely edgy themes. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Edgy.
Like, it's not even like mature. It's just nonsensically goofy in places. And I think that there's a lot of games on Steam like that, and the only ones that actually get noticed or in trouble are the ones that do well, that people like. And a lot of people like RimWorld, and it's a very well-made video game, so people should be allowed to buy it and play it. And that's kind of just all there really is to it, I think. So it's nice to see that it's been properly classified.
I was 18.
Now. What?
I was 18 when I got it.
Okay, so see, you were an adult. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I've looked back. I got it when I was 18.
Or
which is
18
good.
plus.
Which means we don't have to worry about anything to do with Hot Potato 2022, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, it's not like that's only a Australian thing, and it doesn't matter in the U.S. or anything.
Well, yes, but, like, you know, a lot of people watch the Hot Potato, and it might be a little bit weird promoting it, seeing something in Australia, and it's like, well, that game's banned here. But here I am watching it. Video games.
guys-
it's
have
a
you
weird
ever-
industry. Have you ever what?
I would. Have you ever seen the Wiggles?
Like, yeah, the Wiggles. Those guys.
But I can't talk about the hot potato without hearing the Wiggles song. You know, like hot potato, hot potato.
Oh no.
Every single time.
I can't think about the Wiggles without thinking about the pirate guy and his buttons lighting up and then smacking his buttons because he's pushing the magic button and then he teleports into different dimensions. There's a lot of drugs on the Wiggles and people don't realize that.
I just only know the hot potato song.
I was maybe about 3 years too old to watch the Wiggles and
I
was
prefer
left in a
Teletubbies.
very expensive camper that a friend of mine owned once, watching the Wiggles while watching my friend's little brother while they did some, I don't even know what they were doing, but I remember just watching that and going, this is very strange. And I still feel
Yeah.
that way.
I thought
I only
Wiggles
watched.
was a bit too weird, so I decided I needed to watch the Teletubbies instead.
So, you know, you have a problem when someone says, that was too weird. Let's watch the Teletubbies.
I also watched Teletubbies, but so that was because I babysat my friend's younger brother, and he watched the Wiggles and Teletubbies. But I don't remember anything except the hot potato song.
Well, I wonder if they've ever done a rendition of Baby Shark. I shouldn't look that up because that probably exists. Now, next on the list, we have this very, very, very exciting, happy, positive topic. A new report claims that Nintendo workers are underpaid and mistreated. This report comes in from The Gamer. Essentially, it's reading through this. It's another one of those situations where in Nintendo of America, okay. So I'm just gonna read the beginning of this report on this The Gamer article. Earlier this week, Nintendo of America came under fire after it emerged that it is being investigated for alleged union-busting behavior, and the industry giant has denied allegations and has said that it will cooperate with the investigation conducted by the National Labor Relations Board. Now, a new report has shed some light on these claims and points a picture of contract workers being mistreated, underpaid, and silenced from speaking out. Both current and former employees have spoken out in a report from Kotaku published earlier today. Among many new claims, workers say that they make as little as $16 an hour and are left without work for months at a time in between projects, losing pay, healthcare benefits, and they also speak of a two-tier system at Nintendo with full-time workers receiving preferential treatment over contractors. Speaking to the publication, a full-time employee says it is rare to see a worker make at least $20 an hour at Nintendo. On top of this, contractors are said to receive few opportunities to be brought on full-time with little recognition, and some don't even have health insurance. In one of the most damning accounts shared in the report, a QA worker, who they name here, recounts the time that she slipped on ice and hit her head at work, and when she began and to have issues reading. She went to be seen at a clinic in the building. Despite working on numerous projects and holding management duties at Nintendo, the clinic refused to treat her as she wasn't full-time. They even refused to let a coworker drive her to the hospital as they were full-time, and it was apparently against company policy for a Nintendo employee to drive a contractor off-site. I'm sorry, what? That's all I have to say to that.
To which part? This sounds like the time when I was a contractor.
All of this. Do either of you have anything you want to say on this, or should I just ramble for 20 minutes?
I don't know. Let me check what where I've applied for jobs at.
I'm gonna go cancel that Nintendo application.
When I read this earlier, I didn't realize it was Nintendo of America because I just missed that.
Me too.
But
It's Nintendo of America.
yeah, that with that context, I think that this sadly just sounds normal. This sounds like just a normal day for contractors here in the U.S.
Would you say it's a good thing that this is having light shined on it though? Albeit
Yes.
the kind of dark way that
Yes,
labor
I mean,
is in the States. And
I think, yes, because like when I spent some time as a contractor, like I can account to them making horrible pay, no health care, and like months without just gaps where there would be no pay. Or like I would be paid extra in anticipation of gaps without pay and not having any benefits or luxuries that a full-time employee had. Just contractor life, which I'm not saying is good. I'm glad that this is coming out into the open.
I mean, like the scary part is we're still technically contractors, right? We're just contractors with Twitch, but
Yep.
we at
mean-
least have a lot of like self-governing limitations, I guess. Like we don't take orders from anybody. We just do what we want. So it's a pretty free position, but still. And then Suwey, like, you know, you're actively like trying to find a job in this industry. So it's, I don't know. It's scary.
I'm not really looking for contract work though. Like I'm mostly looking for a proper, W-2 job.
Good luck.
Hey, I got my first interview.
Good for you.
I did it yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I bombed it, but
Hey, at least you made waves. Better to bomb it than to like belly flop it.
dude, it started out so good, and then she started asking me questions, and I was like, because I just wasn't prepared to answer standard interview questions because I didn't know what a standard interview question looks like.
Yeah, but now you do. So the next one, you can prepare answers.
Yeah.
True.
And plus, you've just done it, so now you've got the experience.
Dude, I was so nervous the day before that I literally kept waking up with a stomach ache, and I was just a wreck, honestly.
But I think at the end of the day, my heart goes out to any contract worker at Nintendo making $16 an hour, and I hope that more people continue to come forward with stories like this because they need to be seen and they need to be heard, and pressure needs to be put on companies like Nintendo because, frankly, I'm not allowed to swear on this show, so I will say that this is like absolutely hecking and unacceptable, and I hope that things improve because they need to, because if they don't, this is a scary industry to be promoting if it treats its workers as consistently and terribly as this. So,
Yeah, I mean, I know that like there's plenty of issues related to just like worker treatment, just across the board. But yeah, contractors specifically just do not get treated very well, and I don't know.
I wish all the best to, everybody at Raven Software under Activision Blizzard who are in the process of trying to unionize. And I hope that we can see more actual unions to help these contractors get some actual assistance because it's messed up. But that's about all that we have for the news. This is shaping up to be a very short episode. So,
give the listeners an hour of time to go look stuff up on their own and enjoy games.
Yeah, go play some lovely games on this Sunday that you're listening to this, if you listen to this on the day that it releases. And if you want us to have more to talk about at the end of these episodes, go over to the Discord, the Halcyon Frequency Discord, and leave us a question. It's been a little crickety in there recently, and we need a new flow. So if you listen to the show and you want to ask us something, it can be about games, it can be detailed, it can be simple, it can be, what's your favorite plushie? I don't know. I could talk about my teddy bear that I still own from when I was 3. Suwey, do you want to tell people where they can find you and what you do on the internet when you do stuff on the internet?
Yes. I am a content creator. Big shocker. I know. I'm only part-time, sadly, but that's because I am a full-time student.
Not much longer.
Yeah, 2 more months, and then I get to hopefully break out into the games industry as a producer, like somewhere in the production field, hopefully. But we'll see what kind of job I manage to land. But yeah, you
Just
can
not a
find me-
contracting job.
I'm hoping not contracting. Like, I'll take it if that's what I get first, though, because getting that first job, that's the hard part. Anyway, you can find me over on Twitch at Suwey, Suwey, then on Twitter at Suwey Streams, and YouTube, and it's just Suwey as well there.
And Jess? Where can people find you, and who are you?
I don't know who I am anymore.
Well, you're eating carrots, I know that much. Or you were eating
No,
carrots?
I finished my carrots.
Oh, no.
No, you called on me, and I had this moment where my mind went blank. Like, I forgot the question. Can you repeat the question?
Who are you, and what do you do on the internet, and where can people find you?
I'm Jess, and I play video games on the internet.
Weird. Who does that?
Yeah. Me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/woe_Jess. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I also have an underscore there. You can find me on YouTube without the underscore. And you can also find my cat trying to steal my food as we speak.
And I'm blind, and I'm very enthused by this coconut hair product that I got recently that was on sale, and everything in this room smells like coconut because of it. So, not sponsored in the slightest, but you should get coconut scented hair conditioner because this is lovely. Anyway, my name's Blind. I stream video games on twitch.tv/BLINDIRL Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and I upload stuff to YouTube the rest of the time over at youtube.com/BLINDIRL, or just look up Blind Dwarf Fortress and you'll find me. I play too much Dwarf Fortress. It's kind of a problem. If you want to hear more episodes of this podcast, you can find that over at halcyonfrequency.com. You can also find that on the YouTube channel Halcyon Frequency. And if you want to leave us questions, you can do that on the Halcyon Frequency Discord. If you want to come check us out, where all of our links are available through that website as well. And if you want to, if the podcast is not available in a place that you like to listen to podcasts, DM me, reach out, tweet at me, something at BLINDIRL, and I'll make it appear there. And I think that's pretty much everything for this episode. Nice short one. Short and sweet. Kept it concise. Clap.
Well, that's exactly why it's so short, because you just nailed that. Sorry, that's my cat trying to steal my food.
I've only done this 14 times. We're getting better. But thank you very much, everybody, for listening to this episode. We'll be back next Sunday with a new episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. If everything goes well, it'll be episode 16, because if it's episode 17, then somebody time traveled. Thank you very much for listening to... What?
Kiri's going to be on episode 17, right?
Kiri should host episode 17.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just have, like, 6 Kiris on for episode 7. Like, she should just talk to herself but record over herself multiple times. Have conversations. But
Am I missing a joke here?
her favorite number is 17, and she was born on a 17th. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a thing. Yeah. We need to figure out something for that. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, and you'll hear us again next week. This is where we harmonize a goodbye, so just start saying goodbye now. Bye.
Bye. I started to.
I almost hung up the call again. Just like I say bye, that means hit the disconnect button.